right, everybody. Hello and welcome to this Xbox Life episode 339, TXL Awakens. I am one of your hosts, Brun BJ Swick33, along with two wonderful individuals that I care deeply about, that I've known for a very long time. So, Mark.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Mark, aka Wingman 709. Woo!
And Rob.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Rob, also known as Prestar. Hello, hello, hello.
All right. This week, everybody can see wonderful Wingman 709. You may see a little thing coming out of the corner. He is also working on his setup, thanks to the donators and the Patreons and stuff that's helping us out with getting audio equipment to hopefully make this sound better. So we'll be trying that out today, and we'll see how it goes and make adjustments from there. But the show must go on. So, again, episode 339. As we get started here, we'd like to remind everybody that, to help us out, you can go out to...
What happened to our donation there? You took my name out.
For some reason,
I'm insulted.
Well, you took your money back. You said you wanted your money back. We want our spot back. No, actually, for some reason, it Sub Alerts was holding on to our followers, but did not hold on to the last subscriber for some reason. I don't know if that's because of all the changes I was making, so I could zip it up and send you guys the setup or not, but we'll have to see when we get our next donation. So, but besides donations, another way to support us is going to Amazon shopping there. But before you do that, go to thisxboxlife.com/Amazon. When you do that, a couple cookies will be set on your machine, and magic happens in the wonderful world of the internet. And anything you purchase, we get a little small cut with no expense to you, but it does help us out. You can also go to our website, thisxboxlife.com, and click on the Amazon, icon, if you want to say it. And for supporting countries, it'll take you to the correct location. So on and so forth. And also right below us on our Twitch stream is also a link that you can click. And with that, I mentioned Patreon earlier. We are on Patreon. If you want to become a patron, which I believe we got a new one this week, we'll mention, I think, later. Is that correct, Wayne?
Yep.
Yep, we'll mention later. If you just go to patreon.com/thisxboxlife, you can go there and pick anything you want to do. I think we have it set up where you can donate any amount of money. It's completely up to you. But we do have some reward levels if you do upper, lower, things like that. And if you don't want to do a monthly subscription like a Patreon, and you don't shop at Amazon, but you do want to give a little, you can give us a tip if you would like, and that is at twitchalerts.com/donate/thisxboxlife. And want to get cool gear, cool mugs, anything like that, go to cafepress.com/thisxboxlife. Check out what we have out there. And of course, like I said, all the links are right below our stream or on our website. And I think that's it. Get through that quick.
Yeah, we got to find a faster way to do that.
Yes.
It's going to bombard everybody at the start of the
I agree, because then we kind of go through some of it later, too. We have to pick a point where we want to do it and when not to do it. So maybe we should save all that stuff for last and not do it at the beginning of the show from now on.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out.
Yeah.
Hey, JD.
Yeah, see what we'll put it on Facebook and ask people, because it does seem like we do a lot of plug-in when
we got to, because it supports us, and that's how we're able to do this stuff and get better audio, and we're working on it. It does take money. So.
Yeah. Well, but I'm also like the type of person that just complained because IGN put a bunch of who
ads.
is it? It's ads. They put it right in the middle too. They like stop their show, which we don't stop our show. We just kind of go into it because we're doing it live. But they're like right in the middle of a conversation, just like, now a word from our sponsor, and it's oh my gosh, what is the website that they do? Squarespace. It's Squarespace. Because I used to recommend Squarespace, but I actually tweeted Squarespace and said I'm no longer recommending you because you've been shoved down my throat. So I was just like, because there is such thing as bad, bad plugging when you do it so much. But all right, what have you guys been playing? Rob, do you want to go first? I see your list is quite
Absolutely.
long.
Yes, it is. So I got a little bit of Defense Grid 2 in. It's good to get back to that game. I haven't played the second one actually, but I played the first one, so it's a welcome addition to the gaming library because it was on sale for what, $6, $6.25 I believe, instead of the normal 20 or whatever it is. So it was a fantastic deal last week. So I got a little bit of that in, and if you guys recall, well, actually I'll get to that in a second here. I also played some Skylanders Trap Team with my son. When so that was on the 360, of course, and I enrolled in the preview program on the 360. So I got the chance to try out the latest feature that they had for the 360, which was expanding the drives on the system up to 2 terabytes. So I had an old 2 terabyte, or not 2 terabyte, 500 gig drive that I had laying around. Because my system has the 120. Yeah, I think it's a 120 in it normally. So I added the new drive. It was really simple. Just plugged it in, it saw it, I formatted it, and then I just copied a bunch of things over. So it worked really well, and it's nice to be able to have some space again on the Xbox 360, because all the stuff lately that we've been getting for free just never installs because there's not enough room on the system. So that was pretty cool, and got back to Skylanders Trap Team a little bit with my son. And I did manage to get the Chaos Trap finally, because that thing seems, well, for those of you that don't play the game or aren't familiar at all, Chaos is like the big bad guy in the game, and he has his own trap that I guess you would trap him into. But this thing's like almost impossible to find. It just sells out everywhere, and I managed to find it on Amazon for about $6. I just lucked out. I got in a small window there while it was available, and I bought it, because usually they kind of make you buy a whole bunch of other traps if you want the Chaos Trap as well. So here I was just able to get just that one, so that was kind of cool. And it's a fun game. I know I've talked about it a bunch before, but it is a really well done game, even though you gotta buy the characters and the traps and everything. And then lastly, I want to talk about Ori and the Blind Forest. So this is a game that I've mentioned before that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with, and it did me wrong last week, where I got pretty far in the game and I got past the Ginso tree, which is just brutal to get through. It takes a lot of attempts. And I finally got through the Ginso tree, and then I lost my save. I was so mad about that, and I talked about that last week. And I pretty much swore off the game. I was just like, I'm not playing this. I was so pissed off about getting through that.
Oh, the language.
Yeah.
I stopped
weeks in a
myself.
row.
I stopped myself.
No, you didn't.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you did.
I said a letter. I said,
No, you didn't. Oh,
and I was gonna say,
I heard the P word.
anyway.
I heard. Yeah, we heard a word.
No. So you can see how passionate I am about what this game did to me. So I pretty much swore off the thing, because I just, that Ginso tree is just so brutal to get through. And I think it was like on Tuesday, I picked it up again. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get through it. And I got through the Ginso tree again. And it was a lot easier the second time through, because I guess of all the practice that I had the first time. So I got through the Ginso tree and got pretty far in the game. And I lost my save again.
Ooh.
Ori is about to be deleted off my hard drive. I'll pick it up maybe in a year or two. But I am done with the game. I am not playing it again until they can sort this thing out, because getting like halfway through this game, because I think it was like 50% through the game. I went from like 20 to 50% in one night, and to get through the whole thing, get through like Ginso tree, and to lose your save twice, and it resets you back to the same spot each time. I'm not going through it a third time to lose my settings again. And a year from now, if the same thing happens, I can tell you that I will never play the game again. I was so miffed about losing my saves again. And I think it put me back to the exact same spot that I did the time before. And if you're familiar with the game at all, you basically are almost forced to save all the time because of how many times you die and you have to respawn. So it's not like I didn't save the game, because that happens. You get caught up in something and you just forget to stop and save the game, wherever you're at. And then, you die and you respawn back where you were. It wasn't that I didn't save the game. It was that it somehow lost my saves. And I was reading online. There's a lot of people that this was happening to, and some people were like trying to like copy their saves like to or from the cloud. And it's playing a game shouldn't be that difficult. You shouldn't have to worry about losing something that you're not supposed to lose in the first place. So I love the game, but I'm not going through this thing again. So be warned if you are thinking about this game. There's a lot of people that never had a problem, but just be warned that this possibility might happen. So, okay, I'm done.
All right.
Oi!
I don't think I've ever fallen asleep in one of Rob's "What Is I Played" segments.
You're tricky. You're just tricky like that game, because you don't put that you played anything. Or I'm thinking it's going to take 2 seconds for you to say, I didn't play anything. And then you sneak out and throw a couple game sites.
Half hour.
And the language.
That's how I am. I'm tricky.
And the language, I tell you.
It's a family show, Rob.
Jeez. All right, I'm going to make mine quick. Mine's quick. I played Destiny. So played Destiny, and still, like I said last week, I hit level 32 on one of my characters, and then I just ran a Titan, hit 20 this weekend, put all the gear on that I had saved up for him, was 20. I'm like a step away from 26. So I got a 32, a 25, and a 2. So that's all I've done today, or this week. So, Mark. Oh boy.
I will make it quick.
So.
Hey, and why aren't you? I think the background this week should be something different.
Okay.
I think there should have been a different background this week. I think my accomplishment this week is a bit more important than some stupid movie announcement. I mean, come on.
No.
But I had a big week. I actually got back to playing some games. Played a lot of stuff. It was little pieces here and there for the most part. I actually went back and finished the campaign on Battlefield Hardline. I had gotten like up through 8 of the 10 missions, and then got sidetracked with family stuff. And then all of a sudden I was like, hey, I never did finish that. So I went back and finished it. I enjoyed the game, even though I thought the way the campaign ended. People complain. I'm not going to spoil anything, but people complain about QuickTime events. Well, how about a game where you just sit and watch it end? You don't play any part in the ending. I was like, that's odd. I'm watching this, kept waiting for like, okay, I'm going to probably get a QuickTime event, and nothing happened. And then I'm like, well, what happened? Because I'm so busy waiting and watching the screen for QuickTime that I'm not really paying attention to the story that much. I was like, well, that was lame. But so I did finish that. I tried to play some more Pool Nation FX. That game really annoys me. I did go back to Rayman Legends. I kind of enjoyed it when I went back and played it today. I still don't really know what I'm doing or what's the point of this game. Maybe if anybody does get the whole history or what it is I'm supposed to be doing, but I did play it a little bit and kind of think I'm getting some hang of it. Also played, I played Halo Spartan Strike. If you have played Spartan Assault, Halo Spartan Strike essentially is the same type of game. It's identical, kind of, but it's just more of that. And it just came out on Windows 8, and I believe maybe the phones. It's not on Xbox. Probably will get there someday, but it is a Windows 8 game. I played some Neverwinter. Played a little bit more of that. That's man, that I want to get with some people from the community because I think there's so much to that game, and I'm not an RPG person, so I am so lost. But I'm going through. I think I hit level 8. I'm way behind because I haven't played games for like 3 weeks. I did hit like level 8, but if anybody wants to do some co-oping, I've just been working on the story modes. I'm going where it tells me to go, and I'm passing all these other things. I think I'm supposed to stop and talk to people. I don't know where the shop is to buy stuff or sell stuff I pick up. I'm just doing these quests, and I'm going where it tells me to go, and I'm probably missing out on a lot of stuff. I tried Child of Light, and that's interesting. It's really weird, way out of my typical game style. Not sure if I'll get back to it or not because I got so many games to play. But it was interesting. It was kind of weird. I'm not sure I like the combat system on there, but I'm trying to figure it out. I played Borderlands 2. I also completed a game, and now, so 2 games left, and so all of a sudden I realized, and I knew I was getting close to my big momentous thing. Whoa, yikes, I apologize. I probably just blew everybody's ears out.
Yeah,
I just
remember,
hit the mic.
Remember that's there.
I gotta remember it's there. Gotta
Contain yourself.
Yeah, I'll sit and cross my arms. So
You got pretty quiet, by the way.
I didn't touch anything. I hit the little screen here on the mic. I didn't touch anything else.
Okay.
So it will come back maybe.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
coming.
Okay, so I realized, man, I am like really pretty close to getting my 200,000 gamer score. And I remember hearing that IDARB was a very easy 1,000. And it turns out that it is. And I got like that whole 1,000 gamer score like in an hour, maybe. I think it was maybe about 1 hour. And so then I started, and that's why I was kind of doing some of these other things and some of different things. I was trying to find out. I was like 90 points away or something like that from hitting 200K. And I'm like, I really want to do that before we record. So I was kind of looking for some stuff, and I got challenged in our Facebook group to make sure I hit an even 200,000 because I have an odd gamer score because I played the game threes, which threw me off of my even. So, and I was trying to figure out, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to fail that challenge. I just want to get over 200,000. It'd be cool to have the even number, but I'm not going to sit and try to pound something out to get 1 or 3 gamer score. And I didn't want to go back to the 360 to find something that maybe I could do, or I'm like, I'm just going to play what I've got. And then I realized I've never finished the Call of Duty Ghost campaign on the Xbox One. I'd started it, never completed it because I'd played through it on the 360. So I'm like, all right, let me just play that. And so I just sat down and started playing through the campaign, and naturally went over 200,000 while I was playing it, just by completing the levels. So right now I am sitting at 200,063. Ooh, where did it go? I think it's 200,063. So, yay! I'm a big loser. It's kind of weird because I was like kind of excited about it. Then I thought about it. I'm like, well, that just means I've spent a lot of time playing games. It just shows what a loser I am. So it's kind of happy and then it's kind of sad at the same time. So, but I mean, I've been playing for
That's a big accomplishment.
what has it been? 8 years, I think. I've been with Xbox Live Gold. So,
yeah, a while.
a while.
Yep.
It's gonna be a long time before I hit 300,000. So,
Oh, jeez. I don't even know.
So
I'm
now-
gonna hit 50,000.
I challenge you two
Oh boy.
just to get to 100,000.
Yeah. I don't
And
know.
Rob, I challenge Rob to hit 10,000. So,
No, I'm past that. Believe it or not.
I wanted to look you guys up. Actually, I was curious because I remember for the longest time Rob was like at 2,000 forever.
I'm at 38,180.
Where are you at, Rob?
I think I'm around 13.
Oh, he's like, I'm way over that 13,092.
Yeah.
So, Wait a minute. What'd you say? In Braun,
I
you're
like
like 30,000.
38 something, 38 180.
See, I like quintupled my gamer score in the past probably 2 years.
That's easy when you go
You
from
guys can't,
100
but
to
still, hey,
13,000.
numbers are numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
So, but anyways, that's what I've been doing this week. So,
Cool.
Congratulations.
Yes. Congrats.
thanks.
All right. Gunny Chief hit 50K last week. Took him 8 years.
Ooh, all right.
Congratulations,
Congrats.
Gunny. See, I'm just behind you, but I'm like the same way. I played the same game a lot, and I don't finish a lot of them, or like finish them as far as the 1K, or finish them, I guess. But
Talking about the gamer score, I remember like when we first started, wasn't there like a big competition between Mark and Kyle?
yeah, I think
Because I think,
to hit 100,000 first, I think it was.
well, I want to say one of them had like 45,000.
Kyle had a bunch, and then he kind of
Yeah.
threw the challenge at me, and I ended up surpassing him.
Yeah.
And then he went over to do the Achievement Hounds, and then of course he just blew past me, and I got to the. I'm sorry, I hate the cough. I can't mute now.
Yeah,
because of the new setup.
I'm looking for
mute
something.
button.
I need to have some mute button.
Yeah, I'm looking for see if we can find cough buttons or whatever.
So, but anyways, so then I got really tired of playing just garbage games just for the points.
Mm-hmm.
So I really gave up. I mean, I did them. That's why I got blew past 100,000 so quick, and then it took me a long time to get to where I am at today. Because now I only play what I want to play, and then I will go after achievements and grind stuff out or boost if it's a game I really enjoy. I'm not just gonna, So I kind of gave up that, but Kyle and his crew at over at Achievement Hounds podcast, they have kept going, and Kyle today, Mr. Moronic Cow, is at 414,190. Wow. So yeah, at one point him and I were pretty much there together, and now he's more than twice double me.
But you see, I just got to look. I'm like, I got to look as like, obviously that's a lot of games, and it's probably it's probably completion of games. But the thing is did he enjoy the games, or was he just reading through guides to just like?
He's done a lot of Japanese games, and he's done a lot of the guides.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's whatever he likes to do. That's
right,
and that's fun to him. Nothing wrong with what he was doing, but to me, I'm just like, I couldn't do something like that. I couldn't put in the time. Not that I say I wouldn't have fun doing it, but I could not put in the time to do that.
Elite Dog is at 486,353.
Yeah. Oof.
And I'm gonna look up Rav real quick to see what he's at, because he's the third host, Ravioli Capone. And if you guys like the achievements, check out the Achievement Hound podcast. Those three guys are really good. They all are friends of us. Ravioli's at 410, 363. So they've got some experience.
Yeah.
So they busted 1 million between the three of them.
Yep.
It's a lot of couch time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's us, man.
Well, they mobile phone. They got Windows phones. They got Japanese consoles on 360. They got Xbox Ones.
That's too much work.
Kyle got, I don't know if all three of them did, but Kyle got a free Xbox One from Microsoft because of his gamer score. I think all three of them did, but not 100% sure.
Yeah.
So I got,
and the thing is
he got a console.
Yeah, the next console, when they come out and they're like, okay, everybody, we've noticed that everybody's, 95% of everybody is under 100,000 gamer score, so we've decided just to not include it anymore in games. So that number's just going to go away. Most, and the 95% will be like, okay, and then you have that 5% that's like, I'm going to Sony. He's like, I'm not playing your stuff again, because they just put so much into it. But all right.
Real quick, I want to address Andy Fox was talking about Sunset Overdrive DLC.
Yeah.
I have not finished that DLC. I am stuck. Andy, I know you finished it. I want to know how to get past the part where you're in the ball. and you got to get the microbots or whatever, nanobots, whatever they call them, onto your ball, and you got to. I cannot get past that part, man. So I might have to chat with you sometime on Xbox Live. How to get past it. So, but anywho.
All right, round table time. We got some topics. Some of them just I think are kind of news things, kind of questions here and there. Some of them might have a little discussion here. But the first one is I just saw a number of people and people were talking about it yesterday that they came over to my house and we were gaming and doing some Destiny. But they were saying Xbox Live had some issues again Friday night, Saturday morning type time frame. Did you guys bump into any of that, or
No, I didn't. I was
were we
playing.
not playing? Because I wasn't playing, so I didn't know. I didn't know if
Nor was I. I read about it, but I wasn't online at that time.
any
So
explanation. And I heard it was the Lizard Squad again doing their DDoS attacks and stuff. So
I haven't heard anything on it outside of another podcast group complaining that it was down.
no, okay,
I haven't even seen any news stories, but I've been not involved.
yeah, same here. So it's just I wanted to ask that. We didn't have a real big discussion on it, but didn't know if you guys were impacted or knew any information on that. So the next one here is Marcus. I don't know if this is yours, but you're asking if Mortal Kombat 10 or Mortal Kombat X is over the top. Because we
Yes,
were watching.
I put this in.
Okay, because we sent out the link of the stuff last week, right? It was at the end of the show. It's like, oh, you guys got to see they posted all the fatalities and stuff.
Brutalities and X-rays and
Yep. So
I almost threw up watching. I mean, it just grossed me out, and I'm like,
Nice.
here's my question. This was why I wanted to bring it up to you guys. I've played other Mortal Kombats, and I've played Gears of War, and I love chainsawing a dude in half, and I watched The Walking Dead. I don't know what it is about that video, these Mortal Kombat X fatalities, that just, to me, and I can't explain why, I felt like it went way over the top. Like, oh my goodness, this is not necessary. I don't know. Yet because it doesn't make sense. Why would it make me feel that way when I do gross stuff in other games and it doesn't bother me? This one, I don't know. It just seemed too much.
Yep.
So I was curious what you guys thought, because I know you both watched it as well. I actually didn't even watch the whole thing, that video.
Yeah, Rob, do you want
Yeah,
to
actually,
first?
I didn't either. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wondered about this myself as well, because I was talking to Mark about it, and so back when, okay, so Mortal Kombat, I liked it back in the day. I didn't play it a whole lot, but I do remember, my friends and I all just laughing about all the different combos or finishing moves or whatever you want to call it. And at that time, they were funny. They were cool. Yet when I was watching that video that basically showed all of them, it was more, I mean, I wasn't grossed out by it too much, but it was still, I mean, it wasn't funny. It wasn't entertaining. Maybe I'm in a different place. I'm more of an adult now than I was back then, when I don't even know how old I was, probably a teenager or shortly thereafter. But I didn't see it the same. It didn't seem entertaining. It was just it reminded me of the things that you see just to gross you out. You know what I'm saying?
Shock
It's just
value.
yeah, it's over the top shock value. But the thing is, once you have that, it's what do you have left? Nothing. So it's not a game that I'm going to be playing personally. It's definitely not a game that I would ever want to see played when my son's around. So I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective now. And it kind of surprised me. I really don't. I wasn't expecting this kind of reaction from myself. How about you guys?
Well,
Brun?
yeah, with mine is like, you're talking about the chainsawing and playing other games that has, blood or this or that. To me, I think the reason why those ones don't bother me as much is because it's always kind of wrapped up into the action. So it's just a part of, I need to get from point A to point B. So as I'm going through this level, it's just something that happens. It
Yep.
may or may not happen. Where in this game here is, it's a fighting game. But the thing is it's Mortal Kombat, so their whole thing is to be so far above and beyond like gross that that's just a part of the game. And like you guys, I don't play Mortal Kombat. I did when I was younger. And to me, do I think it's over the top? Sure, I guess it is, but I kind of expect it. So it doesn't bother me, but it doesn't turn me off to where I wouldn't play it. I still wouldn't let my kids play it type of scenario.
Oh,
but I think the whole thing, like between chainsawing somebody in Gears and, ripping somebody's heart out or something like that, or or splitting their head and gouging out their eyes or whatever was going
taking
on.
a selfie with them after,
Yeah, just like, all those things is like, well, that's Mortal Kombat. That's what they do. That's a part of their game. But the reason why it stands out is because, or the other ones don't stand out is because it flows with it. Do you understand? It's hard to convey what I'm trying to say. It's more of like chainsawing. If it was like the only way you could kill these guys in this level, and the whole chainsawing was like chainsaw, instead of just like what it does and then you move on, it was like, now let me cut them up in bits, and now let me fry them on a frying pan, let me take a bite out of one and then go on. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you're gone too far. But since it's just like an added piece and you never even have to do it the whole time, then it's kind of the way I see it. So it's way, but yes, it is it's definitely over the top, but that's what I think is expected out of Mortal Kombat. So.
Oh yeah, I think it definitely delivers what people would expect.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't knock people for playing it if they enjoy those type of things.
No, yeah, me either.
It's just not for me.
Nope. Me either.
I don't. Like you said, it's when
Rob's starting to go rubato again.
Yeah, you got a little bit of.
Excellent. All right.
You want a Mac?
Yeah, you want a Mac? Try now.
Yeah. How about now?
Yep, you're good. Good. Finish that thought.
Okay.
Nope.
No, I was just gonna say.
Just go ahead and say it.
I'm done. I forgot what I was gonna say now.
All right, we'll give it a moment because it cleared up last week after a minute or two.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second item I posted up here, Bron, I was curious what your thoughts on it too. It's been announced the next Destiny DLC's coming out, and dummy me thought it was already out. And I'm like, how come I can't play it? They're like, because it doesn't come out yet. It's not till like next month. Idiot.
Can you find it in the store?
So, but there's going to be no raid in the next DLC pack, and it's from the little bit that I've seen so far, this seems not to be sitting very well with the Destiny crowd, and I'm curious, Bron, what you think as a frequent player of this game.
Yeah,
and let me just interrupt for a second. And could you explain the significance of this? Because I haven't played it, and I'm not really sure what the raids are and stuff.
Okay. So, and it's funny because I was a person who played Destiny and then stopped for a while. Remember that? And it's like, I got to go back into it. Now I play it every day. So in Destiny, you have the story, and then you have, you can run your daily things, and you can run your weekly events. But the raid is kind of like the big 6-player raid. It's a raid. Think of like a WoW raid, something that's difficult. You have to do stages of things and beat different bosses, and then you get to the main boss and defeat him. But it's a 6-player, event where strikes, which are like shorter little story, like little missions that you have, usually that ends in a big boss at the end. Strikes are a 3-player. And so what it is with the raid is saying that it was a 6-player raid, you're going to lose that. So there isn't another 6-player event. Oh, good night, bud. Little guy. So when people saw there wasn't a raid, they're just like, well, what so we're just going to be stuck with the 2 raids that we have because, by now a lot of people have already played each one of those raids like 50, 60 times because each week on Tuesdays, Destiny, it resets. So when you run the raid, you get a chance to get your exotic gear and your exotic weapons and all that stuff, and you only get to do that once a week. And you can run the raid multiple times after that, but you just don't get anything. You get like materials at that. So you only really get one shot at getting something big. The thing with the next DLC, though, is that you're not getting a raid, but you are getting a whole new mode. So instead of a new raid, you're getting a whole new mode, but people really don't know what that entails. Like, what's it going to be? A lot of people, the reason why I think majority of people are upset is like there's not another 6-player event. And, now you're just kicking us down to 2-player or 3-player strikes and stuff like that. So, me personally, the DLC pass I think was $29, either $34 or $30, and you got this first DLC pack, which was this whole new raid and more strikes and things like that. Now, like I said, nobody really knows like the full details of what's coming out yet, or I don't know the full details of what's coming out yet. But there's no raid, so where everybody's coming at is like, you've charged me $35 for 2 pieces of DLC, and your second one is just like, nah, you're really not giving me anything.
I think they were doing Crucible stuff.
And
Second, I thought there was story missions, just no raid, and they're doing stuff to the Crucible,
which is ridiculous because the Crucible is horrible. My opinion, of course, but
same here.
I don't run the Crucible. I don't do anything Crucible. And they didn't say anywhere in their DLC season pass that you're going to get story missions on one and Crucible stuff on the other, because I would have never bought it then. I'd have just bought the one DLC for the story stuff. I don't know. This is where I blame Activision coming into the whole play here, is because now it's like, I'll only give them 2 pieces of stuff and charge them max, because the also rumored is there's another DLC pack coming with a brand new raid. But they're going to charge you for it. It's not going to be part of the season pass. So your season pass is more than, about the same price as like a Call of Duty, or, it's $15 shorter than a Battlefield, and they all get like 5 DLC packs and stuff. You're giving out 2, and you're giving a half. You're giving 1.5 is basically what people are thinking about it. Now, this new mode that they're putting in, if it isn't Crucible, I thought it was supposed to be still some team-based thing, but like a lot of people are thinking it's like a horde mode type of thing. Mm-hmm. So if it's a horde mode, you never know. I might play it and love it. And it's really, you pay the money, and if you're getting your money's worth out of it, then you get your money's worth out of it. If it's a horde mode, it may be fun, but the thing is, I don't want to play the horde mode once and only have one chance for gear for an entire week. It has to be multiple times that I can run it in a week to get my stuff. If they want to put a limit cap on it, fine, put it at 10. 10 runs through the horde mode. After that, you just get materials. But, I don't know how they're going to dish out equipment and gear and stuff like this under this new DLC, because the way you got the gear to get you up to 32 was the Crota raid. And if there's no raid, then how are we getting the new gear? How are we going to level up to the max level and things like that? And so we'll have to see. But with there being no raid, I mean, there's no raid, but there is a new mode. So that's kind of, I think, the replacement for the raid. I don't know. Oh, let's see when I get more details on it.
All right.
Do you guys, anything? Or is that just for me to rant?
Nope.
I was just, I'm not a Destiny fan. I was surprised that they, as big as people seem to really love doing the raids, to not have one just seems kind of odd to me. Mm-hmm. The Destiny, there's things I like about Destiny, but overall, the whole game has really kind of rubbed me wrong with, this, you can only do this so much. You can only do this so much. It's like they sell you a game, and then they're like, yeah, you may have put 100 hours into it this week, but we're only going to give you credit for 2 hours. Come back next week, and we'll give you credit for your first 2 hours of your 100. It's just like, if people play it, if they want to don't dedicate an entire month solid to not breathing, eating, or living, but they want to play your game, why is it you're going to dictate when they can get stuff and when they can't? It just it kind of drives me nuts. It reminds me of Cliff Blazinski did that with Gears of War, where they said, "Oh, well, too many people are getting headshots, so you can only get like one headshot per match." Because people are boosting it. So we're going to fight back. And, if you get anything past one, doesn't count towards this ridiculous achievement that you put in the game of, 100,000 headshots. It's like, come on. Who's going to play 100,000 matches? It's just kind of asinine, and it drives me nuts that these people are, they think that highly of themselves, or that, well, we're just going to dictate the rules so they can't do this. But don't you want them to support your game? It's like, I feel like these people are giving you this money. They're buying the game. They're buying the DLC. Who cares if they spend 200 hours right off the bat and get everything? That was their choice. They spent their money.
Yeah.
Let them play the game and move on if they want. But no, they're dictating that you have to come back every week, and that's like they're trying to keep you roped in, and that bothers me. I don't like that.
Well, the model that they're following, the raid model and stuff that they're following, is from a well-known game called WoW. So, I mean, it's the it's the same thing.
Owned by Activision.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't when it came out.
It wasn't, right.
Yeah, that's the thing, is the model they're following is that, and in a way it's kind of aggravating, because like for a month I was trying to get boots, and I couldn't get the boots to drop. And it's funny because I got the boots last week, and then guess what dropped for me this week?
A pair of boots.
The boots. So it's just like, I'm like, are you kidding me? And but the thing is you get 3 characters, and you have your weekly heroic, where you get strange coins so you can buy like exotic weapons and stuff and gear. And then you have a nightfall, which gives you a chance for an exotic weapon drop. And it's like a harder version. And it involves a lot of teamwork and stuff in those. And then you have your raid. And those are the things that kind of reset every Tuesday. And then on strikes and stuff, you can build up 100 Crucible marks a week to buy stuff. Now, the thing is you get that, but then you do it on all 3 characters. So the people that are doing it... I've
not played all 3 characters. I did one.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that's like, I want to play as this class, and I want to get them maxed up, and I want to get them the best gear, and I don't want to have to put 3 times the amount of time into a game to try to boost this one person up and play as a character I don't care to play as.
And you're more than welcome to do that. Like, I only ran one character for the longest time, and I just started to do it because people's like, Brun, you're playing the game, and you're not gaining anything out of it. Even though I might be helping people, but it's like, if you boosted up this other character, you would have something to play for. And I was like, that's kind of a good point. So I went ahead and did it. Now, the other thing that I will say that, if they wanted to change it from like once a week to twice a week, that's fine. You can't do it to unlimited, because then what you would have is you would have somebody that would hit 32 in a week, because they'd literally run it so much. And I understand what you're saying is like, hey, they pay their money, let them do it whatever they want. But then they would be the first person to complain there's nothing to do in this game because I've done it all in a week. So the one thing it's prevent, and I know, I understand.
I think the amount of people that would be in that position is a lot smaller than the norm. I mean, look at our, you guys, we talked about gamer score earlier. When Microsoft came out with like, oh, you're a master level if you were over 25,000 gamer score or something. People that like myself are like, what? I've got over 100,000. I'm considered the same rank or skill level, if you will, from Microsoft's viewpoint, to someone who's got 25,000 gamer score. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, and that's because the majority of people were that low. Those of us that are sitting up in the 100, 200 and higher, there's very few people. I mean, there are people out there that do it, but in the mass, I did it again. In the grand scheme of things, there's, we're the minority, so if someone runs up and maxes out the game in a week, so what? That's their fault. If they like the game, they'll continue to play it. If they don't, they'll move on.
And most people who are maxed out on all 3 characters, they still play it all week. They help people out. They do this because even though you're level 32, you might not get drops for gear, but you have the possibility of getting drops for weapons. And the thing is like I'm hunting for this one weapon right now, and I will play my character and I'll play everything I have to play to try to get the drop. Once I get it to drop, I'm like, awesome. If I want to use that weapon, I can switch it between my characters. But you know what would be really cool is if I had one for each character. You know what I mean? And then it's just like, now I got to play for it again, play for it again, play for it again. So, I mean, that's kind of how they don't do that to force people to come back or force people to stick around. It's literally like that is just the model that has been proven to work for 10 years.
Proven to stretch it. Think about it. World of Warcraft was... They needed your monthly subscription. So they have to stretch that out. The whole point is to keep you involved in the game so that you keep paying that monthly fee. Now, Destiny's different, okay, because there's not that. But they're going to want you to come back and keep involved in the game so they can keep selling you DLC, which at this point, we only had one. The second one's not even out yet.
Yep.
You know, and how long ago did this game come out? I mean, I'm really shocked that they haven't had 4 DLC packs out by now, considering when this game came out. But so I think they dropped the ball there. But it's just odd to me that they're taking this stance, and to me it feels very much against the consumer. Again, they're only thinking of the bottom line of their pocket. But because this is not a monthly subscription game, why do they need to do that? It's just. Anyways, it's just
and the funny thing is,
a pet peeve of mine.
And here's the one thing that's a little aggravating is they've only had 2 DLC drops for the Xbox. They've had 3 for the PlayStation.
They've had 1 for the Xbox.
Well, yeah.
The second one's not out yet.
The second one's later this month or early May.
May, right?
Yeah, early May is the second one for the Xbox, but the third one for the PlayStation. And then supposedly, like in September, we'll get whatever the first DLC was for the PlayStation or whatever, because it's like a strike
at a cost.
No, I think we get that one for free.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I can tell you there's a lot of ticked off people where they're like, hey, you do this again to us, because the thing is they charge the same amount of money.
Right.
So no matter who, Xbox or PlayStation, you charge the same amount of money, but they gave more to the other group. It's just like, you do that this time, there isn't going to be a second purchase of your game. So we'll see how many people stick to that, but that's one of the things. So,
all right.
But all right, what time we got? Let's move forward.
One other thing I wanted to bring up just real quick, for those that are loving Diablo 3, I'm one of them. I was kind of surprised, but Blizzard has begun the process of removing Rift trials from Diablo 3. One of the recent designers had stated this on a Twitch broadcast. Rift trials compose a mini game in which players fight waves of enemies for increasing rewards. The longer the players survive, the better the greater rift key they receive, which grants access to higher level rifts. But according to Wyatt Chang, Blizzard's senior technical game designer, nobody likes the tedious rift trials.
Yeah.
So I've done a few of them. They were interesting, but I never did a lot of them. But I was surprised that they're actually going to take something out of a game. I'm like, and this doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, why are you going to go and actually remove something? If people aren't playing it, I mean, it's already there. You know what I mean? Why would you go back and remove something just because you think that people aren't using it? It's not impacting anything.
Yeah. Well, any changes or modifications, or if they do new levels and things like that, it may be a part of the process where they have to go through, add it, test it, and things like that, where it is actually easier just in the development process to remove it. But I mean, because a lot of people just do riffs. Everybody loves riffs. I mean,
right?
Riffs are a blast. Now,
oh yeah,
this one here, I understand what they're saying, because not very many of us did. We didn't do those, you know.
Well, what's the point of taking something out?
I mean, they just
basically
said most people didn't like it. Most people weren't playing it, so it's.
But it doesn't hurt them to leave it there. They're gonna spend money to remove this from the game you already have.
Well, it's already been removed as far as their builds. I read into the document.
Right.
They already have it out of their internal builds. Think of it this way: if we're going to do balance testing on weapons or something like that in the game, or we're going to add new weapons and we're going to add new levels into the game. And it causes us to have to make a level of that for the Rift Trials section. Now all of a sudden you have to test that entire section, play test it, do all this stuff and things like that for the development process. If that takes a week and it's 100 people working on it, think about all that money they have to spend on developing that. Where if they just take it out, they save themselves money and time on that end. And the thing is like, honestly, these guys wouldn't rip this out if it would impact a bunch of people. Like if people would be super upset about it, they wouldn't remove it. They're removing it because nobody plays it and it's costing them money every time they make a change. That's the way I see what they're saying on it. So, you know, when you're saying it doesn't bother them to keep it in because it doesn't impact them to have it there, it does, but, you know, in a back end type of way or development type of way.
It just seems weird to me that they're taking something out of the game.
True.
They're going to spend money to remove something that, if people aren't playing it, who cares? You know, it's I don't know.
I guess if it costs them $100,000 to take it out now versus, you know, $100,000 each time they make a change to keep it in.
I guess maybe that's the.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because you're right. I mean, you know, just because people aren't playing it, do you take it out of the game or not? Spend the money to take it out? I don't know. So,
all right. All right, that's cool. Let's go to our big story.
The next one? All right.
Yeah.
So, did you guys see that there was a trailer released for a little game called Star Wars Battlefront? Did you guys watch the trailer?
I saw a trailer for a movie called The Force Awakens.
Oh, well, did you see the trailer for the game?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Because that's the trailer. That's the trailer I'm playing in the show. Yeah, a tease for the game. So, you know, there's a whole Star Wars. There's tons of Star Wars stuff. So, real quick, let's talk about the movie, so we can get that out of the way, and then we'll talk about the game.
Greatest movie ever. Calling it now, best Star Wars movie to date. Calling it right now.
Now, is that because of all the special effects that they have because they can do it nowadays, or nope?
Because of J.J. Abrams.
Oh, okay. Lots of explosions. A lot of people. Some people are like, yes, J.J. Abrams, and everybody else. It's like it's a really love-hate relationship with that guy. You know that?
I don't know why anybody would hate him. Everything I've seen of his is fantastic. He has done some amazing television shows. My only complaint on some of the television shows he's done, and I believe this to be the studio's fault, like he did Lost. And Lost was originally supposed to be like a 3-year story. And ABC, because it was so popular, they pushed it out to like 7 or 9 years or something like that. Yeah. So they forced these guys to go and completely change the story to stretch it out. Yeah. Oh, where have we talked about that recently? Oh, yeah, Destiny. You know, it's like the same thing. Well, let's just stretch out so they don't get to do the actual story the way they want. They have to put in a bunch of fluff.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing happened with Alias, but he did that show as well. He's done a lot of great shows on TV, and and he's the first guy ever to direct both the Star Trek and Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, I love these new Star Treks.
Oh, they're the best. Awesome, yeah. I like Star Trek. I'm a fan of Star Trek. I mean, I'm a bigger Star Wars fan. But those were the absolutely best Star Trek movies, were the last two, and both were directed by J.J. Abrams. Yeah. It was just like the shot in the, kicking the seat of the pants on those. And it's just like, I think that's what we're going to need. We're going to get good movie. I don't expect a lot of the Jar Jar garbage, and a lot of this, George Lucas, I'm doing it for the children. I'm not doing it for the adults. Well, when you made the movie originally, it was those children who are now adults that made you a bajillionaire. Yeah. And you're just crapping on them, and you don't care about the guys that made you a bajillionaire. Yeah. Again, it's the same thing. It's like you're crapping on your fans. So I think JJ is going to give the fans what they want.
George Lucas and Bungie. Bungie did the same thing. Crapped all over their fans.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I mean, the trailer looked good. It looks like you had kind of a story thing, which would be Luke talking about my father had it. He's talking about the Force. My father had it. I had it. My sister had it. So that's Princess Leia. And then now, I don't know if he says you have it or my daughter has it.
He says you have it.
You have it, because some people think that the daughter is not his daughter; it's Princess Leia's daughter. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but that's why it's a teaser. No, I don't think.
Well, according to SmokeJumper86 in our chat, he says
Oh.
Han and Leia have kids, two of them. Son is in the X-wing. The daughter's back home. Luke mentors the daughter, who is the new Luke.
Oh, there you go.
Son is the new Solo.
Nice. Thank you, Smoke.
So the best part of that movie trailer, dude, is when freaking Han Solo told Chewie, "We're back home," and he was standing on the Millennium Falcon. That was just the greatest line.
Yeah.
I was just like, yes. And this is the game. I mean, the movie looks fantastic. It just December can't get here quick enough.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks, a lot of people are excited, and the cool thing is, they just released like all 6 of the 1 through 6 digital and HD and stuff like that. You can buy them almost every place you can find it for like $89. I think you can get all 6 of them. Because I don't own a Star Wars.
On Xbox,
movie.
it was like $129, I believe.
Yeah, don't do that one then. Because like Google and iTunes and everything like that, you can buy all 6 of them for $89. I think it is. So, and for one Star Wars movie, seen them all, haven't watched them. So, and it had people talking at work like, oh, hey, I was thinking about getting these and watching them with my son. What order do you think I should play them or watch them in? And somebody says 1 through 6. And I said 4, 6, 1, 3. and they're like, well, most purists say you have to watch them in that order. I said, I'm not a purist. I just think you don't volume up. Yeah, no volume on the trailer. Sorry. It would overgo us. I'm sorry. And I was like, well, I'm not a purist. I just don't think you catch those little things during the show, like Obi-Wan talking to Anakin saying, Anakin, one of these days I feel you're going to be the death of me, and stuff like that. Like, you wouldn't be able to get those type of one-liners and stuff like that, or you wouldn't know about the clone army and who Boba Fett and Jango Fett, and you wouldn't know that, that stuff. I guess you would find out later in the progression, which would be okay, so you could watch them 1 through 6, but I'm just like, watch them the way they released, not the way they're numbered. But that's just me. What do you guys think on that?
I think for like my kids, it's easier for them to understand it if they watch it 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little weird to watch them that way because I grew up watching, 4, 5,
Yep.
6, 1, 2, 3. And then it's like you see them, like when you go to 1, 2, 3, it's like all the special effects and the visuals and the way everything looks is so different.
Right.
It almost looks more futuristic
Mm-hmm.
than the ones that are actually in front of them. But I think for nowadays, I would just tell people 1 through 6. Just watch it so you get to see the progression of everything.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a little easier for people to kind of understand, because even my youngest is still like with Anakin, we were watching. In fact, we just finished watching whatever the second one is.
Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Attack of the Clones. We just finished. We were watching it the other day, and we didn't finish it, so we watched like the last 10 minutes of it. And I'm like, oh, we were that close to the end. But he made a comment to me the other day about Anakin, and I said, well, you realize who he is, right? And he's like, no. He's Anakin. I said, he turns into Darth Vader. And he's like, huh? So,
Yeah.
I think it's just easier for like younger viewers to get that when they see it. When they watch with 4 and then they go back, I think it's a little bit more confusing for them.
Yeah, I like the idea of when you're watching through 4 through 6, and when you go back and you see Anakin as a child,
Yeah.
you're just like, what he grows up to be. It's like,
Yeah.
And I think the real kicker, like the one that really surprises most people, and I know it got me, was the Dark Lord, right? Like, who is he and how did he come to power? and how did all the stormtroopers become to be on the bad side when you're in the middle of the second or third movie, and you're just like, well, these guys are supposed to be a part of the whatever Senate and all these, like, they're supposed to be the good guys, and now they're the bad guys. How'd they become the bad guys? And then you're like, oh, there it is, and it just kind of hits you in the face. You're like, oh, he's the real bad guy, and stuff like that. So
I did not like Star Wars Episode 1 at all.
oh, it was horrible.
Even when I rewatch it, it's just like, oh, this is such a horrible movie. Yeah. But 2 and 3 are fantastic. In fact, I'll probably watch Episode 3 again with the kids here this week. But it's good. You can't go wrong. But I guess we need to probably move on to the game.
Yeah. So the game, the trailer, it's on a loop right now. So you guys have probably seen it like 6 times by now.
Nice PlayStation commercial there.
Well, that was their. So this video is from YouTube, and it's I believe it's IGN's version of it, just to give credit where credit is due. And so a lot of stuff here. It says game footage. It doesn't look like this is actually in engine footage. Okay, yeah. So it's not.
This is not what the game is going to look like.
Yeah, this is not a game. Gameplay trailer. This is like a game teaser, I guess, if you would say. Shows like a bunch of concepts of probably what you'll have, like some weapons and things that you'll have. But it's one of those things, like, I'm watching this and everybody's like, oh my gosh, the game's going to be fantastic. And I'm like, where in there did you see gameplay that you're going to tell me that it's fantastic or not? So, except for at the very end, I guess they show some stuff, which I guess could be some gameplay. But, one of the things with the Battlefront series is you're not a Jedi. You don't have Jedi powers or anything like that, right? You're like you're like normal people, right? In the first couple, Battlefront 2 and stuff like that. Am I wrong in that?
I've never played any Battlefront games.
Oh, okay.
Rob, have you played any?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So
I don't know.
And that's the thing is, like, a lot of people's like, oh, these games are fun because you're not, you're not the Jedi. You're like the other people. You're doing the other stuff. And then here all of a sudden, like, Darth Vader shows up, and I'm like, well, how are you supposed to beat him? It's like, you're not a Jedi, so how are you supposed to defeat him or whatnot? But, it looks like there's going to be some large scale. I've heard talks of large scale ground battles and large scale space battles, and they're going to be able to exist at the same time. And things like that. So, I mean, DICE can do large scale. They've done Battlefield forever. So kind of what you're going to get. Hopefully servers work on day one.
I should cut you off here.
Yep.
Because according to IGN, as of, let's see, what date was this article written? 17th of April. There will be no space battles.
Oh.
Yet, I would swear that I read it or saw it in a video or heard them say that there was.
Yeah.
According to IGN, it says while it touches on original, because it's under a section, they got an article, everything you need to know, and this section called No Prequel Era, No Space Battles. So it says while it touches on original trilogy events, Star Wars Battlefront won't feature prequel trilogy elements like character settings or vehicles. Star Wars Battlefront won't feature space battles either, as DICE wants to focus instead on planetary battles. It's all about epic planetary battles and getting that right. Fighting with X-Wings and TIE fighters. We have that. It's taken in the atmosphere. So it's all, they're still going to be flying,
yeah, but you're not going to be in space. So basically it's Battlefield. Star Wars skin Battlefield.
There's also... on April 17th, there's a story, again on IGN, why Battlefront isn't just a Battlefield clone. There's a whole article about it not being a clone of Battlefield. But here's their reasons. First up, Battlefront supports 40 players, 64 players as Battlefield.
Oh my gosh.
That's the first thing you lead with that says we're not Battlefield because we have less players.
Okay.
So he says that's what worked for them when developing the best gameplay experience. We tried blah, blah, blah. Also, Star Wars Battlefront isn't just a first-person shooter. DICE is including an optional third-person perspective for peers who prefer the series' original view.
Okay.
So right there, that those two things doesn't mean it's not a Battlefield game skinned in Star Wars. Um, he says it's also different when you think about the hero characters, Darth Vader and Boba Fett. There are characters who are more powerful than average stormtroopers or rebels. We had to bring that into the game as well. In doing so, Battlefront features an entirely new combat dynamic. When a hero enters a battle, their enemy's priorities will ideally shift away from their objective to focus on fighting back against a strong, almost boss battle level hero or villain. So that is their reasoning.
Yeah.
To say it's not a Battlefield clone, which I think is BS.
It's gonna be its own game. But Smoke Jumper 86 says yes, you can be a Jedi. So, but I don't know. It looks fun. I'm definitely going to play it. I mean, you can't say that people aren't going to play it. I'm betting. So okay, let's have so November 17th release date on that is what I heard was leaked, or I don't know if that's official yet.
It's official, yes.
Okay. Prediction time.
Well, let's talk about before you get into predictions.
Okay.
There's also, and this to me was a shock, there is no campaign mode.
Good.
Good.
Ooh, lame.
No, good.
Lame. That right there probably takes me out of this.
Yeah, I won't. I won't be getting it.
It's Battlefield. I don't play. I played the campaign of Hardline. I did a couple onlines, and I didn't play Battlefield 4 online hardly because this is gonna be that with Star Wars skins.
Well, the thing is, if you remember, and this is why I was rubbing my head when you said it. You said, "Oh, you guys talk about quick time events and campaigns. Well, in Battlefield Hardline, how about watching the end of the game?" And that's why I was just smacking my head. I was like, "That's why Battlefield doesn't need first, player campaigns. Just stick with what they do, and it's Battlefront." And now I think Battlefront 2 actually had a campaign. So yeah,
one was introduced in Battlefront 2. Yes,
one was
the original did not,
okay.
But Battlefront 2 did.
Okay, so they're going back to the original. They're going to the roots of the original, is what excuse they're going to use.
It says that instead of a story-driven campaign, Battlefront will feature a series of missions, playable alone or via online and local co-op. So it
Like
says
Destiny.
you can play these missions alone, but so I'm wondering, is that mean, is it Destiny-like where
Maybe
you're still online with other people, or is it like Titanfall where the missions, a series of missions, Titanfall's campaign, if you will, was all online and you were playing with real people? Yeah, you didn't have to be with friends, but you had to be online to play the game.
Yeah.
So if it says you play it alone or via online. So if it says alone, that means I guess we can maybe play it as bots, and then you could consider that maybe a campaign. But we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
and I mean, Smoke, you said right what I was going to say is, and this is DICE. Stick with what they're good at. I do believe Visceral and Hardline's campaign is probably better than any of the DICE Battlefield campaigns. Even though you watched, like you said, you watched the end. I have a lot of fun. I'm having fun with the campaign. I do believe it's better than any of the Battlefield ones because I think Visceral actually makes they've made good story campaign games, I believe, in the past, but they've done a good job. But yeah, we'll have to see what it is. But a majority of the game will probably most likely be paid online. With that said, though, can I throw out my prediction now?
Nope.
Nope.
There's going to be several playable hero units during these multiplayer battles, including Boba Fett and Darth Vader. So the game's going to take set on 4 planets. Tatooine, Endor, Hoth, and Salust. There's also going to be some free DLC. So on December 8th, a month after the launch, Star Wars Battlefront owners will receive a free add-on for the game that adds another planet to the location lineup called Battle of Jakku. The DLC is set on the desert planet that made it the first appearance in teasers for The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's why it's waiting till December. They don't want to ruin it with the movie.
Fans who, and if you pre-order the game, you'll get the DLC a week early on December 1st. And Battlefront producer said that the Battle of Jakku DLC is the only way Star Wars fans can experience this battle, which takes place a year following the Battle of Endor, making it the bridge between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So, but that is just. So I wanted to make sure we kind of gave some details.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of the game. So now, yes, I will allow you to go into your predictions.
So, Smoke Jumper 86, we're gonna have to ban him because he keeps putting in chat what I'm about to say. So stop it. No. So, DICE. Let's. I'm not gonna focus on DICE more than I am on EA. Let's say.
I know where you're going.
So, Battlefield is a very popular game. And I'll say it's popular because I do believe it is. It sells a couple million, I would say, on release day, typically. It's not like Call of Duty numbers on day one, and it's not like GTA on day one. But it does do a large amount. So let's say 2 million. That's cross-platform, maybe PC as well. Maybe it'll do 3 to 4 million. With the excitement, people have been dying for a Battlefront game for years, okay? It's here. People are seeing it. People are getting excited about it. Podcasts are talking about it. It's probably going to break day one records, okay? I'm going to throw that prediction out. I don't know if you guys agree.
I agree.
It's going to break
pre-order records.
It's going to break pre-order records. It's going to break day one records.
Suck it, Destiny.
Yeah, well, yeah, anybody, you just might as well. It's going to, okay?
Yes.
I will be there playing it day one, just like, I will be turning it on day one, just like everybody else.
You'll be installing it on day one.
The question, no, because if I pre-order it, I'll be pre-downloading it. So I'll have downloaded, I'll be ready. Day one will come, I'll turn it on. Question, will the EA servers work on day one?
No.
Your predictions, no?
No.
Not a chance in the world will that thing run. And what's the tweet going to be? We understand. Yeah. We didn't expect the quality or numbers of the popularity of our game. We are working on the servers issue as we speak. You know, the same crap that they give every other time when it's just like, no, wait a minute. You're saying that you do not think that the Star Wars game that everybody's been waiting for 4 years wasn't going to be the biggest launch in the century, in this last two console cycles. And what'd you do? Spin up one server? So, I mean, Hardline worked on day one.
That's what I was about. I was about to play devil's advocate
but
here.
But Hardline did not sell half as much as like Battlefield 4 did on day one. And I would say that there is this little thing like they had to have it work on day one, that they probably like overextended everything just to make sure that the servers did work on day one. But
you might be so shocked by this.
Uh-oh.
There's only Battlefield Hardline sales numbers right now across all globally, all platforms, is only at 1.43 million.
Yeah, that's why their servers worked.
Wow.
Yeah, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 sold. You'd have to check what day one.
I'm pulling it up right now. I'm looking at Battlefield 4. 12.34 million copies across all platforms globally.
Well, that's total, right? That's
total sales as of they don't have a date, but it's probably at least what are we in April? So probably at least by March 30th.
Yeah. 12 million, right?
This may be done every week.
Yeah.
But
so I'd have to say they had 1 million or two probably day one in Battlefield. Now Battlefield was literally broken. I mean, I don't think it was the servers that caused that. I mean, it was just broken. But they're going to do 12 million on day one. They're going to pull that massive amount. I mean, Call of Duty does like 8 to 12 million on day one, and didn't GTA 5 do 12 to 15 on day one? So, I mean, this is going to be huge. They cannot screw this up. but I really don't think it's going to work on day one. If it does, it does. Hey, I'm all for it, but I'm just going to have my, I'm not going to have my hopes up, let's say. I'm going to have my hopes up, but 3 days later, maybe by the weekend it'll work. So, but cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up GTA 5. It just took me to one.
Trying to wake Rob up. Rob, wake up, Rob.
Yeah,
Are you going to buy this on day one, Rob?
If it's, I mean, the game looks interesting, but the fact that there's no campaign is that's a big deal for me.
still don't know what the game looks like.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see more probably at E3 for sure.
I posted in our group, hey, finally what we've been waiting for. And of course, I think one of the first comments was, this isn't in game. We still don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got the trailer. I mean, isn't that, So I know. I'm like, yeah, but I said, yeah, well, you're going to see it at E3. They're not going to give it away yet. Yeah. If we don't see game footage at E3, then I think there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And I will predict here, I'm going to predict that there will be issues because this game is being launched in conjunction with a movie. That never bodes well. So they can't, I really doubt they will push this back unless they run into some major problems. This is more pressure to get this out just prior to the movie release than any other Battlefield game's ever been pressured to be pushed out.
Yeah, and we all know how that pressure of releasing Battlefield 4 right around Call of Duty worked out for everybody. So 7 months later, it was finally fixed. One more prediction is, the first Sunday when we're meeting to have a podcast after the launch of this game, we'll sit down, we'll look at what games we've been playing in our script. Rob won't have anything written down, and we'll say, Rob, what have you been playing? And he'll be like, well, let me tell you about this game called Ori and the Blind Forest. I got past this tree, and for the 6th time, it deleted my save. I am done with that game. But did you play Star Wars? No, I was too busy getting to that tree again.
That's probably about right. You just don't understand because you haven't played Ori.
No.
Yeah, you're back at Mr. Roboto.
Okay, Robotron.
Every 45 minutes, I'm watching the clock. 45 minutes, he Robotrons.
He is on a Mac. That's what mine did. It was every 45 minutes.
Yep.
Had to unplug, plug back in. So. All right. Let me stop this trailer. I'm tired of seeing it.
Any more last comments on it? And I welcome our community to send us voicemails or emails this week.
Yeah.
And give us your thoughts or comments on the Star Wars game. Let's try to focus on the game, and we will play those or read those emails or play those voicemails next week.
Yeah. Cool. All right. In the community
Rob, did you have any last comments?
Sorry. Robo?
He was talking and we cut him off.
What about the Star Wars game?
Yeah.
We briefly talked about the quality of the game, and we don't know what it looks like. I think it's definitely going to be the best looking Star Wars game to date, and I wouldn't be surprised if it looked reasonably close to what we saw in that video. We'll just have to see what the gameplay is like.
Yep.
And I did have to say that I got a chuckle out of seeing that speeder bike smash into the tree. Mm-hmm. I mean, those things are going 100 miles an hour in a forest. Come on, seriously. Who would do that? You take it out in the plains. You take it out somewhere nice without those trees.
Leia did it.
Yeah. And they're leaving. Let me ask you. They're leaving the old consoles behind, right? This game isn't coming out for those, are they?
I'm sure it's not.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they said it. It may have been in there, but I doubt it.
There's a lot of predictions on Destiny, like the reason why you can only have 3-player strikes and stuff like that is all because they have to code for the old consoles. And the next Destiny isn't going to have the old consoles involved, so a lot of people are thinking it'll be a lot better. But. All right, is that it?
That's it for me.
All right.
Yep.
Real quick, and I do mean quick. Facebook group. We have a lot of great people out there. Please join Facebook group. It's facebook.com/group/this Xbox Life. Twitter is twitter.com/this Xbox Life. You can send us a voicemail, which Wing just said Tell us about the new game. Tell us what you're going to do, what you're excited about. We'd like to hear about it. Go to thisxboxlife.com, click on the send voicemail, follow the prompts, and send us one in. We'll get you in the show. And Patreon, patreon.com/thisxboxlife. Donations at Twitch alerts or right below on the link. And also Cafe Press if you would like to get a shirt. That is also this website here.com/thisxboxlife. So cafepress.com. It's pretty much everything. And that's the quick run through. We're going to have to fix that like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So all the links are below. All the links are on the website, This Xbox Life.
And before you go into new games this week, we got an email and also a shout out to Richard. He is our newest patron. So thank you very much, Richard. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Richard.
We did get an email. Actually, this came in during the show.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm surprised to see it in here.
And I'm like, yes, I can answer this. So he says, this is from Sith Lord 66.
Perfect. Sith Lord. Fantastic timing.
Except it's not spelled. It's spelled different, but still. It's probably he had to because someone else probably had it the other way. But hey, you guys, I bought my first Xbox One the other day. Woo!
Yeah,
All right.
congratulations.
Up to the party. That's awesome. I got the Master Chief bundle because you got to have the game, right? Well, I'm not a first-person shooter guy at all. I would take Madden 15 over Halo. Can you guys help? Any help would be appreciated. So I'm going to do two things here. Number one, if anybody has a code from Madden 15, because there was a bunch of Madden bundles out there, and you're not going to use it, or you don't want it, or you already had the game, hit up Sith Lord 66 SYTHLORD 66, or Sith Lord. My other recommendation would be EA Access.
Oh yeah.
It is $30 for a year. And you'll get Madden 25, Madden 15, NHL 15, and I think NBA Live 15 is in there.
Yep. FIFA.
Plants vs. Zombies, Battlefield 4, Need for Speed, and FIFA 15, right?
14, I think.
Or FIFA 14.
Yeah.
All those games you will get free as soon as you pay that $30 a year or $5 a month, which I don't recommend because it's $60 a year. But as long as you're an EA Access member, all those games that are in the vault will be free, and there's 2 Madden games in there. So that's dirt cheap, dude. I would pay the $30 a year. I am paying it, and they're continually adding games to the vault.
Yeah.
So that I think that'd be a great way. That'd probably be the best way for you to get it. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
But again, if anybody's got a code and they're not using it, just shoot it over to Sith Lord 66.
And keep the Master Chief bundle. Use the Master Chief bundle. You should own the game. You should definitely play it because, the new one's coming out. And
but he doesn't like first-person shooters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Rob.
Yes, sir.
Games releasing.
All right.
What are they and where can you buy them?
Okay. I can handle that. So first up for the Xbox 360, looks like it's a pretty dry week. Nothing going on there. For Xbox One, we have Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. This was the DLC add-on, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah. I don't know if you can get it separately. So if you could get it separately, you would definitely be probably able to find it on Amazon. So make all your purchases through Amazon and use the this Xbox Life affiliate link. Just go to thisxboxlife.com, and then in the right sidebar over there, just click on Amazon. It'll take you to the appropriate place. And that's it.
All right.
Oh, and new games are up for Games with Gold for the 360. They just started the other day. Make sure to get them.
Oh, what are they this week? Or what are they? What's the second half?
Oh,
Black
it was
Flag, Assassin's Creed, right? Black Flag. Or...
Yeah, it was Black Flag and
Gears?
no, the one with the two guys.
Army of Two.
Oh,
Yeah, Army of Two.
gotcha.
I think it was the second game.
Okay.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
What are we in April 2015?
I'll make sure.
Just real quick, because I forget. I forget about the the 360 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
it's real easy.
Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel,
Okay.
and Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Okay. Right on. All right. That's it. So catch us next Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come out, follow the stream. That's very helpful. You'll get alerted when we start a new show, so you can join in. So, all right. That is all I have, guys. Everything good to go?
Yeah.
Yay?
Good.
Nay? All right. All right. With that, I am Brun BJ Swick 33. Everybody have a good one.
I'm Rob, also known as Prestar. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch y'all next week.
And I'm Mark, a.k.a. Wingman 709, taking off.